Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about how to tune in to the Satoshi trials live on Monday. And we're going to share really kind of a perspective as to what's at stake. And then also just to share some insight and real world story and events here that's transpired. This is Gavin Mehl. So, all right, so we're going to be starting on Monday. The trial is going to be starting on Monday. Looks like at 9 a.m. That's going to be on February the 5th, London time. That's going to be 1 a.m. in the morning, Pacific time, San Francisco. I do not see any reason for myself to physically be in the courtroom. While others may disagree with that, it looks like they're going to provide access to the event live. Thank you again to my man Xiaowei Liu. He's always got his pulse on all the information. He's provided me an email address. It's Chancery, CHANCERY, judges listing at justice.gov.uk. Chancery judges listing at justice.gov.uk. And in that, typing in the case number, which is IL-2021-00009. And of course, it's COPA v. Craig Wright. And then you got to put your name in there, your legal name. Apparently, that's going to get access. So they did send me an automated response, so I expect to get access and be able to watch everything live. Now, in that, I would imagine they're going to provide the rules on whether or not we can record or not, or live stream. I don't know about that. So, of course, I'm going to be following whatever the local rules are and the local laws, personally. So whatever they are, I will 100% be complying with them. So, but if they allow recording and if they allow live streaming, then I would be absolutely love to do like a watch party on it. I mean, we'll have to stand by. Looks like I'll be having to reset my clock a little bit on tuning in because it's going to start at 1 a.m. San Francisco time. All right. So yeah, that being said, just as a reminder, what's at stake, that's just the declaration from the court on whether or not Craig Wright is Satoshi Nakamoto. Literally, he is or he isn't. That's really the fundamental simplicity as to what's at stake. It's going to go into 6 days of direct and cross-examination of Dr. Wright, starting on Monday morning. First thing, it looks like that's what the calendar says. It's like, boom, he pops in. There's no argument. Normally it's opening statements. It's like, I don't even see any of that stuff. I just see, boom, get on the stand, Mr. Wright. It's time. You're on the hot seat. And, it's really interesting because looking and researching this stuff further and further back and the whole history and the dynamics of this, and what's to come, and I hope I can really come across as not in any way ruling out either side. Okay. Cause I don't know what I don't know. So, but in looking at all the events and the past history, it sure seems as though, when Satoshi left the project and then Dr. Wright, he built this team of 45 people to then start working on the regulatory framework. Okay. All the patent writing and the regulatory framework to protect Bitcoin, and then became in-chain. Okay, it seems like it looks like this is calculated as to what's happening here in the courtroom. It from my perspective, it seems that way. Almost like kind of a false flag, putting up an event saying, oh, here's some evidence that we found, put it in there, oh, this is forged evidence. Oh, we're disclosing all the evidence. It just seems like there's a lot of noise coming from the other side, than the COPA side, that is really is all to do about nothing. And it looks like from the way this whole trial is planned out, like this guy has thought this thing through from backwards to front. It's possible. I'm not certain about that, but he appears to have, I don't know if he has enough he has some courtroom experience. I don't know if he has enough to plan the whole thing out backwards to forward yet on each step. And if he's done that, then there's going to be no way out for the other side. It's just a matter of if he's prepared for every single event along the way, like in an entire reverse engineering aspect where, I know exactly that's going to happen. And you got to be thinking worst case scenario on each line each step. So we'll see if that's what he's done. We'll kind of be able to get a gauge for it right away, I think, on Monday. And I'm going to be planning on tuning in. I was down buying I was at a cell phone store today, right? So, and I go and I talk to the guy at the store, sit down with him, young gentleman, and I asked him about if he heard of Bitcoin. He told me his whole story about how he heard about Bitcoin a long time ago and he didn't buy it when he should have, but now he's been trading in shit coins and he's got every shit coin he could think of, and he's hoping they could go up. And I asked him, like, what's the use? Like, what's the purpose of being involved in it? Well, he wants to get rich. I said, well, isn't it risky being involved in all those cryptos, the crypto stuff? And he said, yeah, it's totally risky. I was like, well, do you have anything secure and stable? And he's like, well, I got Fidelity and these other investments. I said, well, what if you could transact digitally in cash? In like a way that it was meant to originally be designed, just peer-to-peer cash, where he and me, we transact in cash right here, right now. And there's nobody else involved. There's no central point of control. And it literally is cash, as in like transaction fees of less than 1,000th of a cent, not fluctuating large transaction fees. And I mean, he's like, dude, that's exactly what he wanted. He wanted control over his money, and he wanted a way to be free from any sort of independent, central point of control, and that's just like the gateway. That's like the gateway of everything. So it just, I just directed him to, I'm like, well, it's really hard to find this stuff on the original Bitcoin protocol, but it's if you look at a couple of places, you can find it. You just got to look. You got to really, really spend the time to get educated on what's going on. And do the research, do the research. There's a big court case coming up starting on Monday where the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto, and he knew exactly who that was, is going to be determined. And so that's going to potentially create, case law and precedent on, significant impacts over the industry. I think more for the BTC side than the other side. The Bitcoin Satoshi Vision side, because it seems like the Bitcoin Satoshi Vision side is more focused on enterprise data adoption over the blockchain. And really, it doesn't look like there's really any, it just doesn't, other than the fact that on the hash power and the mining, the miners and the actual hash power, it doesn't appear like they're not on the same, competing for the same thing, at all. They're not after the same, like they're not competing for, I want people to, that's not at all. It doesn't appear like BTC is competing with BSV. That's probably something that have to go into more detail on why it doesn't appear to be in competition. And I'm not insulting the BTC, but it's just a whole different animal. The BTC is more about, it's got different properties. It's all about trading, price. It has the, and then of course small blocks and keeping the, holding on to everything, not using it, not building on it, So it's just a enterprise level adoption for mass scaling. I mean, the bringing in the CBDC enterprise, like we talked about yesterday with the N-chain stuff. The possibilities are endless on the other side. And again, it's not taking away from the other. So I really hope that the other side can exist, in all economic terms, but it's possible that this court case will not allow BTC side to exist. So everybody got notice, an opportunity. This is Gavin Mehl. Like, comment, subscribe. Put a hand cash link in the video description here below. I'll see you guys at the top. Stay tuned for more.